Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. Hey, friends, won't you come and join me just for a minute and imagine how fabulous you'd feel living the unique and distinct life you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love, in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. Well, that's what I call a life of significance. And I can tell you it makes a very happy life. And so can Susie Singer Carter. She comes highly recommended by Tony Copeland Parker, the guest star of episode 131. Susie's my guest star today, and she's here to share her unique and distinct journey to her life of significance. Hey, Susie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, Matt. Thank you. And I love Tony, and I would, I can't say too many good things about him because he's the best.
We love Tony too.
Yeah.
So why don't you get us started by telling us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world?
Well, I'm right now I'm a filmmaker, and I decided to use the craft that I have. This is my toolbox, and I'm currently working on a documentary called No Country for Old People. And it's really a documentary that is, pulling the curtain back on a systemic crisis that we have in our nation, within our long-term care system. And it's been that way for decades. And I wouldn't have known about it, except that I was I was chauffeuring my mother through this in a journey in 2022. And we were very close, and I was very, involved in her health and her well-being and her quality of life. And when I realized I was up against something that was bigger than me, I needed to show people. I needed to pay it forward, because I don't want other people. I want other people to have a beautiful life and a beautiful ending to their life.
Yeah, very good. So when shall we expect No Country for Old People to be ready for viewing to everybody?
We're seeing the finish line.
Okay.
Because documentaries are extremely hard. They're a puzzle, and we interviewed over 80 folks who, from caregivers to the most renowned experts in long-term care, politicians, policymakers, doctors, geriatricians, you name it, CNAs, nurses. And we really wanted to give the breadth of the in the scope of this topic. So we're hitting the finish line. We've been raising money all along. So it's been, because it's a documentary, it's difficult, to get mainstream to fund it, and especially for social matters. Right. So we are fiscally partnered with the National Consumer Voice, who have been advocating for long-term care, quality long-term care, for 50 years next year. That's how long it's been going on. So we're still raising a little bit more just for our finishing, to pay for licensing for music and our mixes and all those things. So we will be out this year.
Very good. Also, give us just maybe 30 seconds each. Don't you have 2 podcasts that are currently ongoing?
Well, I have one. My other podcast, which is called Love Conquers Alz, and Love Conquers Alz is really, it's another way of paying it forward in terms of talking about Alzheimer's, trying to destigmify it, and also just keep the conversation going that I started at the short film that I directed and wrote and produced in 2018, which is called My Mom and the Girl. And that was a day in the life of my mom, who had Alzheimer's. And I wanted to show a different perspective, because again, it's a topic that, there's a lot of ableism against those kinds of diseases, progressive diseases. And I wanted to show that you can find the joy in it. And so once that film came out and I saw the reaction to it, I wanted to keep the conversation going. So thus Love Conquers Alz was born.
Okay.
And then the other podcast I have is called Don't Get Scared, Everybody. It's called I Love Lucifer, but I don't love Lucifer. It has nothing to do with it. It's a comedy, and it's really a metaphor for Hollywood, if you will. And it came out of COVID, our boredom, my partner Don and I, our boredom in COVID, and it's really, about the life of two scream queens, and they fight movie monsters by day and real monsters by night. And it's very fun and funny. And it's like, it has the tone of, American Werewolf in London, which is, really a campy kind of buddy film. And this is a campy kind of buddy series. And we just had a blast doing it, and everyone seems to love it. And, got a lot of awards and things. And we just have one season, but I recommend binging it because it's a lot of fun, and there's wonderful actors in it. And, that's what happened. Those are nothing great happened out of COVID. Let's just, get cut to the chase there. But some forced a lot of us just to get creative, right? And keep people happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And with your doing the serious work on Alzheimer's, it must be a nice break to be able to do just some comedy and lighthearted stuff and
Amen.
laugh.
And laugh. Laughter is good.
Yes,
Laughter is good. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to have both. You have to be mission driven. I think you have to have a purpose, because that's where you find your joy. And I say that all the time. It's like,
100%.
I feel in my purpose with this documentary. I felt in my purpose with My Mom and the Girl. And that's not to say that other projects like I Love Lucifer, or the film I'm doing later this year called Run, which is a dramedy, it's a lovely film. Those make people happy. And that's a gift too. And so it doesn't have to be serious, but you just, for me, it always means giving something away.
Serving. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful, Susie. Well, let's do a little mathematics so our friends all around the World Wide Web can get to know you through our happy formula. It's a simple formula, but super powerful. It goes like this: power plus purpose, as you mentioned, power plus purpose equals happy. So let's start with power. What are your personal practices for building up all the power that you need to get things done, whether it's physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, emotionally? In other words, Susie, what do you do on a regular basis to create all the power you need to take really good care of yourself and your loved ones, and still have plenty left over so you can be a giver to others?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I think, okay, quickly, that is such a learned habit. I think for some of us we're doing, and all my life I've been a doer, and I've been the girl that goes, give it to me, I'll take it, I can do that. Oh, I'll get it done. And meantime, you're sleeping 5 hours a night or 4 hours a night because you're trying to get it all done. But that stuff catches up with you. And what it does is it chips away at whatever your gift is, whatever your work is, and it chips away from it. It starts depleting you. So I started, it is a learning curve, and I realized that I need to take care of myself. And that means I exercise, which I think is so important. And I think that you can do exercise of things that you love. Like we talked about Tony Copeland Parker. He loves marathon running and running, I don't like running, but give me a hip hop class and salsa and dance, and I'm in. Sign me up, and I'm there. And, that makes me so happy. And, working out, just other kinds of workout, just keeping my body strong is so important. And, eating well, but not fanatically, like, allow yourself something that you love, because that's a joy. That's a brainstem joy. I mean, eating is a pure joy. So I think that, you have to eat well, which I do, but you also have to eat what you love as well. And enjoy your life. Like, just enjoy, take time, give yourself permission to, I often if I'm busy, I'll say, well, I'm busy tomorrow. Make time to not be busy.
Yeah, that's right. And you mentioned eating fanatically or exercising fanatically. And if you're doing anything fanatically, it's excessive, and it creates, if you slip up, then you worry and you stress. And that worry and stress is just as bad as eating the ice cream. It
100%
negative chemicals into your body. So it's be active, do what you love, but make sure you're keeping your power base full.
100%. Yeah, because there's nothing worse than a brain full of cortisol. And I know that as a caregiver. And when you're, and also an A-type personality where you're trying to take on too much and you're going, why did I just gain like 20 pounds? And I've never been, because it's the cortisol. And then you couple that with no sleep. It's a train wreck. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Susie, let's dive into my favorite power generating concept. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. And it's this beautiful, beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results. And I love it because it's based on mindset, not circumstance. Kaizening life is knowing there's always something I can do better tomorrow than today. And it creates this optimistic, gentle, but powerful and continuous uplifting of my life day after day after day. So, Susie, how does Kaizening your life help you increase your power to continuously become more so you can continuously give more?
Oh, I love that question. I love that. I think, what I've learned to do is to give myself grace for making mistakes, and that and to find the gift in the mistakes that you make rather than beat yourself up. So every time I feel defeated or I feel like I didn't deliver the way I know I can or should, well, first of all, take the word should out. And then, right. And then, and that's been, these are baby steps mind you. I mean, these have all been baby steps because they're imprinted in us, and we have to learn to, unravel those kinds of habits that we get into. So I think giving myself grace and saying, I can make a mistake. It's okay, because actually it's always a door to something else that, and I think I saw that with my mom. Instead of trying to change my mom who had Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
I leaned into it.
Yeah.
And I found where she was at. And I went, okay, oh, she still does that. I'm in. Let's do that. That's good. And so baby steps that way, and that's with everything. It's like, oh, I achieved this today. Good on me.
Yep.
Good on me, instead of, looking at it that way.
Yep.
And I think those breed positivity.
Yep.
Those kinds of acknowledgments and affirmations, and it's hard because I think some of us feel like it sounds silly. Some of us, to acknowledge ourselves, right? Like, some of us are very good at it. Some of us are like, well, that's indulgent.
Mm.
And so it really is a shift, but for some of us, I'm just saying, some of us, I don't know. I feel like, can I just give a really quick story? It's very, very simple. I went to this therapist who said to me, she was a hypnotherapist. I've never done this before. And I'll skip to the chase. She said she couldn't hypnotize me because I couldn't let go. I couldn't. I said, I wanted to, get rid of this memory, a sad memory that I had, and about a breakup I had my husband. And anyway, long story short, she asked me to picture myself when I was a little girl, and asked me if I loved that little girl. Because she said, tell me how much you love yourself. I said, I can't do that. That's ridiculous. That's so gross. And she goes, all right, let's think about you as a little girl. What do you look like? I'm 5 years old. I'm wearing this striped t-shirt, And she said, and so describe her. I said, and she goes, is she cute? I said, she's adorable. She said, do you love her? I do love her. Well, you're letting her down.
Mm.
And that resonated so much for me, and does to this day, that, that's a little girl that was looking up at you as the big girl, that you're going to grow up and you're going to take care of her. Mm-hmm. Take care of her.
Yeah, that's good. That's interesting. One of my favorite quotes is, my life is my message. And it's about, I want to do things that show a role model or leadership or an example. Not say, but show.
Do.
Do.
Action.
Action.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because all those things are verbs.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to purpose. You mentioned it earlier. It's the second element of our happy formula. And Susie, I've observed that major life transformations and the big discovery of purpose often, sadly, comes from devastation. Addiction, abuse, disease, death, disaster. Something awful strips a life to its core, resulting in some big change. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I share the transformational process that I've used to discover the purpose of my life using inspiration. So, how about you, Susie? Was there a specific moment or an event or a crisis or an inspiration that revealed to you the God given purpose you were meant to live?
Oh, well, as I said before, I mean, No Country for Old People, this documentary came out of a horrendous period and an horrendous journey. And I could have gone either way. I could have gone one way where I said, I'm done. When my mom passed away, I'm done. That was hellacious and I have to get back to my life. Or I can say, I can take all this information that I learned and all my pain that I went through and use it to educate others and to try to help others not go through the pain that I had and my mother had. And so, yeah.
Let me ask you at that point, and one of the things I like our audience to think about and to recognize is when you're at that point, at the lowest, most crushing moment of life, when it just feels like you're completely overwhelmed, how did you walk through it? What was the catalyst when you said, no, I'm not going to leave this, I'm going to use this? What was the catalyst?
Gosh, I think it was that's a multifaceted question, because I think it was I knew I could do it. I knew I had the right, I knew I was the right girl to do it. Just in my heart. I don't know where that came from, but I knew I was, because I have a weird combination of a lot of energy. But I'm also very emotional. And I thought, if I can tell this story like I did with my mom and the girl and touch so many people, I looked back at that other project and thought, and, remembered all the people that wrote me letters and people that were hugging me and things like, and I thought, this is something I can do. And then I looked at my mom, who I adored and adore now. And I thought, I'm gonna make her suffering have a purpose. And that I was, and I really, thought, why was I put in this position?
Mm-hmm.
Why me? And I felt like I wanted to do it for my children, for everyone's children, for my colleagues, my friends, everyone I love, because
Yeah.
this stuff, we all age.
Yeah.
And we all, right? We all age, God willing. God
Yes.
willing.
God
You
willing,
know,
yes.
I mean, and like my mom used to say, I'd say, Mommy, how are you today? And she'd go, I'm great. I'm alive. Life is good. The alternative sucks, right? And so I want to honor the little pistol that was my mom.
Mm.
And I think, and I feel like something in her went, go girl, you got this.
It's interesting. I don't know all the story, of course, but you're taking care of your mom. We can think of that as a smaller incremental step. The my mom and the girl, that was a small incremental step.
Yeah.
And all these things that were swirling around your life, your other experience, your creativity, all those are kind of like kaizening up to this great big thing, which is uh, No Country for Old People, perhaps. And maybe
Yes.
that lead to something, even beyond, who knows? Uh,
Absolutely. And I couldn't deny it. It was there. I mean, it was like, it's like I say, I saw things I can't unsee.
yeah,
And, there's the meme that's going around now, if you know, you know.
yeah, yeah. Very good. All right, Susie, thank you for that. Now let's take a commercial break so our sponsor can spread a little love with our audience. Mr. Happy Living here. I love good things made for good people. That's why I love Happy Living's online e-course. It's an 8-week-long deep dive into you and the inspired life you want to live. The life you were put here on this earth to live. The one that you and only you can live. 8 weeks of lectures and ideas and topics and supporting materials and powerful self-improvement tools. All designed for you. All designed to help you create the tools and the power and the confidence you need to discover your purpose and to discover the life you were meant to live, and to feel incredibly inspired and motivated to decide you will live your life to its fullest. It's all designed to help you create the unique and distinct philosophy of you and your inspired life. Go to happyliving.com, select our e-course, and save $100 with promo code WITV7. And for every enrollment, I'll donate another $100 to WITV7. For $300 and about 30 hours, I promise you'll never, ever be the same again. And we're back, and this is the Something Significant Show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper. And my special guest star today is Susie Singer Carter. She's an award-winning writer, playwright, director, producer, actress, podcast host, and caregiver advocate. Her Oscar-qualified short film, My Mom and the Girl, starring Valerie Harper in her final beautiful performance, won numerous awards. Her talk show, Love Conquers Alz, received Best Podcast 2020 by New Media Film Festival and is now in its third season. And she's currently writing, producing, and directing a critically needed documentary, No Country for Old People, inspired by her mother's last 6 months of life in a long-term care facility in 2022. Her power of storytelling has attracted an impressive list of the most talented and staunch advocates to contribute to her film, including the National Consumer Voice for Quality Long-Term Care, who are fiscally sponsoring the film by providing 501c3 status. Wow, Susie, I love all that. And I think you're going to love this article called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. It says the act of giving itself can be a gateway to discovering your reason for being on this planet. The science tells us that giving your time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering purpose and overcoming difficulties and finding fulfillment and meaning in life. So I updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. So what do you think, Susie? Has giving your time and your talents and your treasure been a pathway for discovering your purpose and for getting past difficulties that you've faced and for bringing real meaning into your life?
Oh, without a doubt, 200%. I mean, Elie Wiesel, who is, an amazing human being, who wrote, went through the Holocaust and became an incredible writer and speaker. And at the end of his days, it's like, and he went through a horrific time, right? In living in encampments. And, he says, what is happiness? And happiness at the end of the day, there's no greater joy than giving.
Yeah.
You get so much more back when you give.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's almost the ultimate in selfishness is giving, because it feels so good.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Yes. And when you give, it does help you sort out the really hard times, and it helps you navigate those hard times because you're valuable. You have a purpose. Why do people die in nursing homes? Why did so many people die during COVID in nursing homes? Because they had no purpose. They were in rooms, isolated. It is definitely science.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. So the science tells us giving to others helps bring real meaning to our lives. And the joy that comes from our fourth element of significance that we define, doing work that creates value for others, confirms it. When you're doing work that creates value for others, you feel good. But there's something more to it than just the giving, Susie, and I feel it deep in my spirit. I believe that the real magic of life comes when you're giving from living in your purpose. So it's giving and purpose combined. Mm-hmm. So, Susie, the audience and I would like to experience how it makes you feel to be happily living your life and giving to others through the work God put you on this planet to do, and the people all around you have taken notice. So just sit back for a minute, open your heart, and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact that you're making on their lives by finding the magic of giving from living in your purpose. One person said in all caps, OMG, I love her. Another said, when you interview her, know you're in the presence of greatness.
Oh my
Another
God.
said, describing Susie Singer Carter with words is a difficult feat because she's one of the larger than life kinds of people that you have to meet in person to fully appreciate. Others said, a phenomenally talented and gifted writer, director, and producer. She radiates beauty inside and out. She's painfully hilarious, likes to make you laugh until you're crying and your abs hurt, kind of funny. She's intelligent, fearless, a force of nature, a devoted daughter, a loving mother, a proud gaga. Fierce, resilient, a determined advocate, a beautiful soul, a bundle of energy, a bright and shining star. Passionate, extremely focused, a creative savant. Amazing, incredible, a class act. Dedicated, knowledgeable, a valuable Alzheimer's resource. Generous, compassionate, her true strength and center is her heart. Professional, insightful, open to suggestions, attentive, fair. I really enjoy working with her. Energetic, awe-inspiring. She's helped a lot of people with her films. She's turned the struggles and heartache she went through as a family caregiver into a way to change the lives of family caregivers in the future. My Mom and the Girl is an absolute masterpiece of a documentary that shows the reality of what's truly happening in our broken healthcare system in the United States today. Through it all, she's never stopped pursuing her true passions, hip hop dancing and being my BFF.
Oh, I know who that is.
Susie could have just wallowed in her grief, but that's not in her DNA. So she's shining a light on something every family may have to deal with one day. The nursing home industry is scared, and they should be. With people like Susie, they will lose. Susie Singer Carter is a person you have to experience and to truly understand. Someone whose presence can light up a room and whose love can change lives. And Susie is going to change the world and save lives with her advocacy. If I had a ton of money, I'd give her a whole bunch of it to Susie so she could keep blazing her trail. And finally, this person said, during my dad's journey, I came to believe that there are angels. There were several times that people appeared and said or did something in unexpected ways and at unexpected times that opened my eyes to seeing the situation we were in, that we were facing in a different way. These were nurses and doctors and other residents and other caregivers. I never knew who or when, but I learned to keep my eyes open for these angels. Susie is one of those angels. I hope she keeps spreading the message of hope and joy. Her film touched me deeply, and I am so very grateful.
Okay, I'm done.
So, my friend Susie, how does all that incredible love make you feel?
I don't have words. It's too much. It's like, I mean, what can one say when you hear that? It's overwhelming. It's the greatest gift that you can get. I mean, hearing that is everything. It's everything that you want. And it's not an award. It's not anything. It's just, just knowing that that's out there is all you need, right? I mean, it's really that. It's like, I don't know. I'm speechless. Sorry. I'm speechless. It's a lot.
It's love and it's giving.
Yeah.
And that's what this show is all about. It's finding, and the reason I'd like to do that, first of all, because our guests deserve it. But I want our audience to understand that finding that magic in each of our lives is available for each of us. And it comes from this great big happy circle. It's giving your time, talents, and treasures is a pathway for discovering your purpose. And you mentioned purpose a lot today, Susie.
I do.
But when you're giving from living in your purpose, that brings profound joy to your life. You're just doing what you love, but it's also to the lives of those around you. And you don't even notice that you're spinning it off. Mm-hmm. So it seems like giving leads to purpose and giving from purpose leads to joy. So to better capture the exponential power of our happy formula, Susie, I need to tweak it just a tiny bit more.
Okay.
See how this sounds. Power times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power. And that's really, truly, deeply happy. How's that sound?
It sounds on point to me. I mean, it touches my heart hearing those words, and you know, you don't get an opportunity to know what people think about what you're doing, and you hope that you're making a difference, you know, and that's all you can do is move forward authentically and be as open and as transparent as you can, and be brave to share what is hard to share. And you know, and especially during this time, which I'm learning with the internet being so pervasive, and people can say and do whatever they want, and you have to be stoic and know that, you know, those aren't the people you're trying to reach.
Right.
And it's okay. And you have to, you know, it's a new phenomenon in our world. And so, you know, often it's, you know, I guess it's like if I go back to being an actress, if you read your reviews, you better believe both of them. So don't read any of them. Right?
Correct. That's good. I like that. Well, very good. Well, Susie, let's wrap things up with the lightning round. I love the power of words and the capacity for great quotes to change lives. So I'm going to read a few of my favorites and have you tell us what they mean to you. Give us the first thing that comes to your mind, because we call this a lightning round.
Yeah.
This first one's from Jim Collins. He says, you can't manufacture passion or motivate people to feel passionate. You can only discover what ignites your passion and the passions of those around you.
That makes me feel exactly on point with me, because I feel like when you're authentic, it's contagious.
Yeah.
Right. So if you move into the world with sadness and grief, you're going to get that in return. If you move into it with joy and excitement, that's what you're going to attract that.
100%. This is from Hemingway. He says, the world breaks everyone, and afterwards, some are strong at the broken places.
Yep. That's what scars are. Scars are proof that you're resilient. And those are your badges of honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of my own. It's overcoming fear requires courage to venture into a land of unknown outcomes. Deciding to act in spite of uncertainty is how one's life becomes a daring adventure.
Again, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's like I'll go back to my project. Doing a project like this is, you know, an uncharted territory for me. I'm not writing it, it's writing itself. And taking on and putting it out in the world and saying, trust me, folks, trust me, I'm giving you good information here. I mean, I have to deliver that. And I've never done that before on this massive size, right? So I think that you know, it is a leap of faith on yourself, and to, you know, you have to really believe and know that you're in the right lane.
Yeah.
And you're doing what you're meant to do.
Good. This is Helen Keller spoke of a daring adventure this way. She said, security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature, nor do the children of men as a whole experience it. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing.
Oh my God. Okay, so there's a song, Take on Me, that I love so much, and one of their lines is, "It's no better to be safe or sorry," and I believe that 100%. It's one of my favorite lines.
That's great. Helen Keller also said this one, I long to accomplish great and noble tasks, but it is my chief duty to accomplish humble tasks as though they were great and noble.
Beautiful. I love it. I love her anyway, but I love it. That's true. You know, you think about like, oh, it's, you know, I could be at the Vanity Fair party, or I could go to the nursing home and sing a bunch of Neil Diamond songs for everyone there, and feel like a rock star, because they're all like, Susie's here, everybody gather around. And now you're truly a star.
Yeah, that's right. I love that. This is from Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose.
Right. So I think no matter whatever your God is, in any way, whatever the universe, how you look at it, that yes, I think, I like what Steven Spielberg said about, your purpose. And he said, your purpose is out there. The angels are whispering to you, but they're very quiet.
Yeah.
So be still and listen.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. This is our show anchor from golf. He said, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
Yeah. You have to, it's one step in front of each other. You have to, you can't, nothing's going to happen if you don't do it. Just do it. Even if you're afraid to do it, just do it.
That's from, that's Goth and Nike combined. Just do it.
Yes, just do it. There you go. Yeah. Well, nothing's original.
That's the truth. Okay, folks, now it's your chance to be a giver too. If you can hear my voice and you are inspired by today's show with the marvelous Susie Singer Carter, won't you please share a little love with our wonderful broadcast team by giving what you can to WITV7. They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. Susie, I love that you had the courage to turn your family's hard times and headaches into an impassioned movement to improve the care for everyone needing the nursing home system. And I admire your fierce determination and the creative weapons you're using to speak truth to a large, powerful, and ruthless system that's affecting so many who feel powerless. And I'm super happy that you've shared your passionate, resilient, and unwavering spirit on our show today. Will you please take a minute or two and share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience?
Well, yes. Thank you for listening. If you're, and I hope that whatever I shared was impactful in some little way. Can I talk about that? We're still raising a little bit of money. Is that a bad thing to do?
No.
Okay. We are still raising the last part for the last little run of our film. We're done, but we need a little bit more finishing funds. And if you're so inclined, of course, give to this lovely station first. And then if you have a little bit more, we are also a 501c3, and you can go to the National Consumer Voice for quality long-term care. They are a legitimate company who have been doing incredible things for 50 years. And you can, give whatever you can. It's tax deductible, and it is it's an investment for all of our future. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Susie. And I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like Susie and reaching folks just like you, ready to create your own extraordinary lives. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to social media and all things Susie Singer Carter. Find her, friend her, watch her movies, and listen to her podcasts, and let her know that you're out there cheering her on. We'll post all her links in the show notes. From me to you, dear friends, I love you, and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So go to happyliving.com right now and take our happy quiz, because measuring your happy helps you focus your attention on it, and focusing attention on it attracts change and learning and improvement, all to flow right into your life. And once you take the quiz, and it only takes a minute, then give some thought to what we can do together, you and me, to improve the happy of your world, one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome. And this is the Something Significant Show. And we're out.